Hey everybody, it's Brooke with The Buttered Home and welcome to my messy kitchen. Today we have a fantastic twist on the traditional breakfast casserole. I know that earlier in the month we showed you a really easy, really great breakfast casserole that we like to have that's made with canned biscuits. This one is a little bit different because it's not what you consider in the way of a normal breakfast casserole, as it doesn't have any bread. This one is one that we like to have to give as a food gift to kind of get people thinking about what they have in their minds and define as a breakfast casserole. This is our take on a new breakfast casserole that is a ham and cheese grits casserole, and you will be just blown away by how easy and delicious it is. So what we've done ahead of time is I have taken a cup and a half of water and a cup and a half of chicken broth and a cup of quick cooking grits, and I have made my grits ahead of time. They're still warm, so we're gonna have to be real careful with them. But if you can do that ahead of time and certainly put this together, put it in the fridge and then pop it in the oven the following morning, or you can prep it all together like we're gonna do now, and you can freeze it and give it as a food gift or save it for later. So that's one of the beautiful things about this casserole, like others, is that it can be easily modified to fit whatever need you have. So we're gonna get started and I'm gonna show you a few tricks on how to put it together. Really, the cooking of the grits is the only thing that you really have to do ahead of time. And one of the things that we're gonna do is we're gonna use those warm grits to temper our eggs. So we're gonna show you now how to put it all together. All right, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take my cooked grits and I'm gonna put them in a pretty large bowl so that we can have room to mix everything up. And these are the quick cooking grits, and they cooked in about 5 to 10 minutes. Then I have 2 eggs here that I've just lightly beaten, and I'm gonna take just a little bit of those warm grits and I'm going to add that in my egg. The reason why we do this is to slowly change the temperature of the eggs without cooking them. Sometimes if you dump a room temperature egg into something warm like these grits, then you'll end up with scrambled eggs, and we just don't want to do that. Now I like to use a glass bowl so that I can feel and see if my eggs are tempered. And they're not quite warm yet, so I'm just gonna add just a little bit more of my grits in there. And all I really do is just kind of whisk them in and get them incorporated. And a glass bowl kind of helps you feel that temperature so that you can tell that they have warmed up. So they're good and tempered now, so I'm gonna go ahead and add them and the grits back in to my other grits. And then I'm just gonna kind of fold those in and stir them around. Now you can use traditional grits for this if you'd like. We just like using quick grits because, well, they're quick. And it just makes things a lot easier. But whatever your preference is, that is fine. All right, so now we have a cup of cheddar jack cheese, and we like cheddar jack simply today because it's what we have. Now you can use mozzarella, or you can use pepper jack, or you can use cheddar. It does whatever you have on hand. I'm a proponent of not going out and buying anything special, that's for sure. So we have a cup of it, and I'm gonna add half of it into the grits because we want some on the top, right? But we also want that cheesy bite, that goodness in the middle too as well. All right, and then to this, we're gonna add 1/4 of a cup of milk and just stir that in. And then I have 2 tablespoons of butter. While everything is still warm, we're gonna add that in as well and let it be melting into the grits, because that'll help give them a nice buttery warmth. And the milk just kind of thins everything out. All right, so I'm gonna make sure that butter gets worked in there really well and evenly distributed throughout. And then we're gonna add just a pinch of salt, not much, because we used regular chicken broth when we made these grits so that we don't have to add so much salt. And then we're gonna add probably about 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. But you add the salt and pepper according to your dietary needs and how you like it. Preference, that's what I was trying to come up with, preference. All right, and then to this, just to make it a little more interesting, we're gonna add about 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, and then just a touch, like maybe not even a full 1/8 teaspoon of red pepper flakes. A little red pepper flake goes a long way, and you could certainly use cayenne pepper in this if you'd like, but we like our grits kind of spicy, so we add that red pepper flake in. It goes a little farther with just a little bit. So we're gonna mix that up. All right, so now we've got the good basis in here, and then I have these beautiful green onions. I used 2 stalks of green onions, and we're just gonna fold those in as well. And then this is a great recipe to do with leftover ham. So I had a spiral ham, and I just saved me about 1 cup of it, chopped it up, and then we're just gonna fold that in. And y'all, it's just really pretty. You know, I've said it before, I'll say it again, we eat with our eyes, right? So we want something that's pleasing and looks tantalizing, I guess is the word you could say. But we just want to mix that up until it's combined and it's really pretty and really yummy. So now I have a casserole dish that I'm going to just lightly spray. And then we're going to put that mixture in the casserole dish. And y'all, it smells so good already. And then we're just gonna spread that out and get it evenly distributed throughout the pan. That way we don't have any low spots, we don't have any high spots. Okay. Then we're gonna take the other half of that cheese and we're just gonna sprinkle it right over the top. And you can add more cheese if you'd like, or less. I like about 1 cup in the whole thing. Now, if Big D was making this, he would put 1 cup in it and 1 cup on top of it, because he is a cheese man, cheese-loving man. All right, so this is it. So all we do is pop this in a 350-degree oven from anywhere from 35 to 45 minutes, just until it's bubbly and brown. Everything in it but the eggs is already cooked, and the eggs really don't take that long, and they just kind of bind everything together so that you don't have like a runny serving of grits. The eggs in it is really what makes it a casserole. So we're gonna pop this in our 350-degree oven, and then we're gonna come back and show you the finished product. We'll be right back. Hey everybody, it's Brooke and we are back. We have finished a 35 to 40 minute cook time in my oven, because I used my little oven, so it got done pretty quick. So we give cook times based on a good enough range to accommodate almost any oven. So my rule of thumb is if it says 35 to 45 minutes, that you set a timer and check it for halfway through, the earliest time, and then check it at the earliest time first, and then every 5 minutes after, so that you can make sure that it's done to your liking. So in my oven, we hit that at about 35-40 minutes. And it is gorgeous. We're gonna show you how pretty it is now so that you can see. It's nice and firm, and it's cooked up just like a casserole should be. And I'm gonna dip some out and show you. So like, this is not gonna be a runny type grits. It's gonna kind of sit up and be all nice and firm, and you've got a clean area here underneath. So it is fantastic. It is the perfect bite. And look, I'm just gonna show you, you can see that ham in there, and you've got all that nice egg that has really just cooked into the grits so that it just becomes more or less a binder. So you have a good firm bite of grits there, and they're creamy and luscious and delicious. And then you've got that small bite of that smoky ham in there, and it's just absolutely perfect. So this, I hope, changes the way you think about breakfast casserole. A lot of times a breakfast casserole is a great idea to give to people who have a new baby or a family member that's been sick. Food gifts are a wonderful, wonderful welcome surprise in most households, but a lot of times whenever we give a food gift, we don't think very much about breakfast. We tend to cover larger meals of the day, and a good breakfast casserole like this one would be perfect to give to somebody in need, because they can use it not only for breakfast, but they can use it for brunch, lunch, or supper if they need to, because I know here in our house at the Buttered Home, we do eat breakfast for supper quite a bit. So this is a good welcome surprise, and one that won't really be that anticipated when you tell them it's a breakfast casserole. So as usual, if you're not following us already on our social channels, those are here. We're over at Facebook and Instagram, and we would love for you to follow us on both of those platforms as well as on our YouTube channel. And when you go to YouTube and go to the Buttered Home, make sure that you hit the subscribe button so that you can be notified whenever we drop new videos like this one. Every week, we love to share some of our wonderful Southern comfort food with you on all three of those platforms, so we would love for you to join us there. Also, if you haven't already, you can find recipes for this and lots of other great things at thebutteredhome.com. We would love to have you there as well. So until next time, from the Buttered Home to your home, we love y'all. Bye.